Welcome back to Ozark Garage, and this is part 3 of our KLX 230 build. Alright, so the first things we're going to install are a new shift lever and a shift lever protector. So the new shift lever is from High Volt Spares, same company that made the manual idle control we installed last time. If you haven't seen that video, check it out in the upper right hand corner. But this shift lever folds, right? So if you impact the ground when the bike falls over, inevitably it won't break and it won't transfer that force to the shift lever shaft in the transmission. In addition, we're going to install this shaft saver, they call it, which sandwiches between the shift lever and the transmission case, and that prevents the shift lever shaft from bending when it gets impacted because it sticks out quite a ways. So the old shaft comes loose with just a 10mm socket to remove the bolt. Now we're going to install the shift lever saver first. There's a bunch of debris on the shifter shaft, so we're just going to wipe that all off. Okay, so you can see how far the shifter shaft sticks out of the transmission and why it's prone to bending. So the saver just goes right on like that, and now we can put the shift lever on. So a lot of bikes, the shift lever comes from the factory. The top of the shift lever is even with the top of the foot peg. This one was actually quite a bit lower. It was down here originally from the factory. Because we're setting this up to ride with dirt boots, which are a little bit stiffer and a little bit harder, what we're going to do is we're going to set the bottom of it to be even with the top of the shift lever, like this. And then all we have to do is line up to where it fits with the nearest spline. And that could be up or it could be down. And then we're going to put it on, and then we'll double check. So now that it's on, that's pretty close, but once again, you're going to have to index it to the nearest spline. So we're going to give that a try, and if we have to re-index it, we can. All right, so here's a quick shifter test while it's up on the stand. Going up a gear is easy, but going down a gear, foot has to come off the foot peg entirely and more or less stomp on it. So we're going to try one position down, I think. So there's a small drill detent mark here, and we have the shifter aligned with that first time around. So as I take it off, I'm going to try to index it a little, the slot a little bit above that, and we'll just go one spline at a time until we, so there we are, one spline above it. Which ironically, we're probably back where the factory one was, but we'll see. So here we are testing again in the lower position, shifting up, shifting down, shifting up, shifting down. So foot has to come off the foot peg maybe a little bit to shift down, but it's still a lot better and still can get it to shift up. Up next is a Tusk skid plate for the KLX 230. So this is just some engine and control protection. It bolts onto factory locations in the frame. I don't think so. It looks like a wire loop. I don't know what that wire loop's for because it doesn't look like it does anything. So we'll take it off. So here you can see how much protection is provided to the engine case by these little wings on this side. And then you can see over here the engine case is protected by this wing in case the bike goes over or just the rocks or debris getting kicked up. All right, so up next we're going to install a set of Tusk D-Flex Pro handguards. I have a set of these on my DRZ 400 and I really like them. I replaced a different brand set that broke on the trail, and so far these have worked out really well. So these should be a pretty simple bolt-on install. We will have to cut out the ends of the grips to put the plugs in here, and then should bolt them on just easily. So it looks like this Kawasaki throttle tube has a solid end. So we're going to have to modified that a little bit. So I always say universal means it fits nothing, and this is a prime example. These are universal fit brackets, and this one's not going to clear the crossbar on the handlebars, so it's going to have to get clearance to slide up and match up with the pieces here. This is not totally unexpected, so we're going to put it in the mill and remove some material so we have clearance. So the right side was shorter because of the twist grip. This side, as you can see, is not lining up. We're pretty far off. So we're going to have to modify our mount a little bit more than the other side. Generic Amazon special cargo rack. I really just wanted one that was a tubular structure that's easy to grab onto to set the bike upright, and was kind of pre-drilled, and just has to hold, you know, a small amount of stuff. Didn't want anything giant. So ready installed. Just should be 4 bolts. Overall, this cargo rack's pretty simple to install, just 4 bolts. Only a couple complaints, so the plastic doesn't exactly clear the new bolt. The inside here rubs against the factory plastic on both sides, but pretty minor overall. Bolts into factory locations, and strong enough to hold whatever we need, as well as, you know, be able to lift the bike by it if we need to. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to install clutch and brake levers that are adjustable. So if you have smaller hands, these can adjust the reach so they get closer to the handlebars and make it easier for you to grip it with 1 finger or 2 fingers, which is what you want to do. So these are pretty inexpensive. These came from Amazon. They're like 40 bucks or so. We installed a adjustable brake lever on her Trail 125 previously, and so we're going to do something similar on this bike here. A little silicone grease. We can reinstall the bolt.
That's what she said.
Taking off the clutch switch here, which is what keeps you from starting the bike with the clutch pulled in, gets a little bit in the way of getting to this nut. So the Barkbuster's handguard's getting in the way, so we're going to loosen it and just drop it out of the way so we have a little bit more room to work. since we've messed with the clutch lever here, we're going to readjust and adjust the free play gain on the Recluse. If you don't know what that is, check out the last video where we install it and it'll explain it pretty well. Well, that's all for this episode. Now it's just a matter of getting some seat time, and hopefully the next time you see this bike, it'll be on the trails. If you have any questions, post in the comments below. Otherwise, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.